Imagine being in the jungle in the middle of deepest Africa. It's hot, humid. You can't see where you're going because of the dense forest around you. You're driving in a 4x4 together with your companion, but you're not alone. You're being attacked by armed men with Kalashnikovs. Maybe this is hard for you to imagine, but this story was reality for me. That day, that moment, I was facing death. Facing death, especially when the bullets were flying around our heads, shooting through our Jeep as if it was made out of paper, turning the vehicle into an Emmental cheese. I was terrified, sweating and shivering at the same time. Luckily, as you can guess, I survived. We actually survived. During that time, I was working in Africa. We were humanitarians and I needed to be a strong leader. My team and I were working day and night to save people in the midst of chaos and violence. It was truly one of the hardest tests of my life, but this made me grow beyond myself, whether I liked it or not, even if it meant suffering severely from post-traumatic stress disorder. It was one of those moments that gave me insights into being a better leader in uncertain times. But don't worry, you don't have to face death to be a better leader. We all face uncertain times and situations, some more extreme than others. However, the world we are living in today has become more uncertain. Our time needs bold, resilient, kind, and humble leaders. Many of the challenges we face today are unprecedented. Just think about climate change or pandemics. We have to be bolder in our decisions in order to tackle those issues. Vision, clarity, and empathy will be key skills of any leader. Think about all the decisions you have to take in uncertain times, deciding to hire or fire someone, quit your job or wanting to change career completely, or leave a relationship that has turned sour. And how do you deal with these uncertainties? And why do these questions matter to us? Because each and every one of us plays a leadership role, whether for others or for ourselves, especially in challenging times. And let's not forget, uncertain times and situations act as accelerator for change. Being a successful leader while finding the right balance is exactly what I would like to share with you here today. In fact, I have 3 key ingredients for you to become a greater, stronger, and more empathetic leader. These are: be brave, be kind, be bold. The first key is to be brave. Aristotle said, we become brave by doing brave acts. So what does it mean to be brave? Let me tell you a little story. I grew up in a small mountain town in the Swiss Alps, going to a monastery boarding school. Although I lived in a postcard world, that world was too small for me. I was crazily curious to discover, to venture out, and to plunge into the unknown. How curious are you in your life? Do you remember being curious as a child? And did you make your childhood dream come true? Maybe you did, or maybe you didn't. Well, I did. I said my goodbyes to the monks and traveled for 1 year around the world with my backpack. While all of this was clear in my mind, my family thought differently. Let's just say they had a very different opinion. Actually, their words were, "Are you crazy? Don't waste your time." From the outside, it looked unsafe. For them, it was beyond the limits. I did understand them, but here's the thing. My dreams were stronger than the fear or worry. It ended up being one of the most valuable experiences of my life, and it's when I realized that being brave paired with resilience and curiosity opens dimensions one did not know existed. Fear, on the other hand, does exactly the opposite. It kills curiosity. Doing something different is not just okay, it's in that space that you grow and that allows you to develop your resilience. Resilience is the ability to be happy again after something difficult has happened. It is the ability to withstand situations and being able to venture beyond your fears. In other words, it is really okay and even positive to feel afraid and uncertain at times. As Nelson Mandela said, I learned that courage was not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. The sooner you recognize the importance of diving into your curiosity, the sooner you will develop your creative and innovative skills, as well as your resilience. Doing things the way they've always been done will not be good enough in uncertain times. Your life might be filled with uncertainty at times, but you can be brave, whether personally or professionally, and being brave will truly change you. And that's not all. Besides being brave, we have a second key ingredient, and that is be kind. Oscar Wilde said, "The smallest act of kindness is worth more than the grandest intention." And in order to be a great leader for yourself and others, you need this one key skill, and that is kindness. But why is kindness so important? Isn't it a sign of weakness, or does it require you to be vulnerable? Kindness, what does that really mean? Kindness has many faces. Let me take you to a small village just outside of Rome. This happened to me a few years ago. I was standing there in front of a supermarket where this beautiful lady, or signora, wearing an elegant flower dress, came up to me in my sweaty t-shirt while I was biking from India to Switzerland, raising funds for leprosy sufferers, which was written on a sign attached to my bike. She came up to me, gave me a kiss. Oh yes, she did. And on top of that, 50 euros, and left without saying a word. What a beautiful, kind, and certainly unexpected act. And what touched me most about it was the simplicity of it. I mean, who would not want to be kissed by a beautiful Italian, right? But how does kindness apply in leadership? Obviously, you can't really kiss your employees or colleagues. According to the dictionary, kindness is defined as the quality of being friendly, generous, and considerate. But what does that mean in daily life and in leadership? Is it as simple as saying, "I like you," being friendly, saying hello, smiling? In fact, research shows how kindness impacts the way we live and work. Kindness is directly linked to productivity, for example. Some researchers suggest that there is an evolutionary explanation. Our ancient ancestors realized that stronger bonds among them increased their chances of survival. In workplaces with high levels of kindness, employees have 26% more energy and people are happier, resulting in an increase of productivity by 20%. And let's not forget, the leader is only one person, but it is the team that will turn ideas into results. This counts even more in uncertainty. But only a team that feels respected will grow beyond itself and feel compelled to do so. In a world of challenges, praising and showing appreciation to your team will not only increase trust, but ultimately help the team spirit. It is so easy to project frustration, anger, and tiredness onto others. But I realize that kindness is the key to success. Even though we might be under pressure at times, under tremendous pressure, we shouldn't fall into the trap of projecting our frustrations and anger onto others. And if a leader makes a mistake, apologizing actually demonstrates strength and humility. Here's another question for you. Have you ever asked yourself why we have 2 ears and just 1 mouth? The ratio is clear: 2 to listen and 1 to speak. And when a colleague is talking to you, are you actually paying attention? And when you come home after a long day, do you listen to your partner even if you're tired? Being an active listener is an act of kindness to others. But let's not forget the kindness to yourself. How kind are you to yourself? Do you take time off for yourself? It's that self-kindness that is the foundation of kindness to others. Why do you think they tell you in the airplane to put the oxygen mask on yourself first before helping others? Remember, your actions are only as strong as you are. Therefore, everything starts with the self. Once the self is strong and healthy, then it becomes easy to be open to the concerns of others. One step you can take is, for example, practicing self-compassion, learning about your limits, and keeping a laser-sharp focus on your goals. Ever heard of Winnie the Pooh? He said, "You're braver than you believe, stronger than you seem, and smarter than you think." Well, I truly believe that I survived my trauma in Africa because I was kind to myself. First of all, I accepted help from people around me. Some of them strangers I barely knew. Secondly, I allowed the pain to exit, exercised regularly, and saw the positivity in it. After all, I was still alive. I took care of myself, and that is why I was able to lead others, to support others, to serve others, because I had put that oxygen mask on first. So how do you shift your corporate or personal environment to one of kindness and experience the benefits of it? Find small ways to start shifting your culture towards kindness. Listen, support, appreciate, motivate yourself and others. And that makes all the difference. And it starts with you, no matter what position you have. Leadership starts with the self. Being kind isn't hard, and it doesn't cost anything. It's simply a choice we make as leaders and humans. The third key ingredient to successful leadership is be bold. Being bold means take action. Albert Einstein said, "Nothing happens until something starts moving." In other words, nothing will happen if you don't do anything. It's simple, right? Yet, for most of us, stepping out of our comfort bubble is terrifying. Stepping into the unknown, oh no, how scary. I'm sure you know the saying, life happens outside of the comfort zone. And that is what I learned over and over again in my life, whether it was during my expeditions or working in war zones. There's always that first step, that first message, that first encounter, or that first pedal push with a bicycle. As Eleanor Roosevelt, the First Lady, said, "You must do the things you think you cannot do. And when you do, step outside of your comfort. Be ready to fail 1,000 times in reaching your goals." And that is how a child learns to walk. Stands up, tries, falls, tries again, falls harder, and so forth. But eventually, the child will succeed. And think of Michael Jordan, who said, "I have missed more than 9,000 shots in my career, lost almost 300 games. I failed over and over and over again in my life. And that is why I succeeded." But why does life begin outside the bubble? Think about things you did outside of your comfort zone. The first time you stepped on a bicycle, scary, right? But once you were able to ride, most certainly fear turned into pleasure. Think about work. The first time you went into a job interview, or you had to give that presentation or take up a leadership role. Every single time you felt uncomfortable, it helped you to grow as a person and as a leader. But it's not just boldness you need or resilience, but also endurance. Endurance is withstanding an extended time of physical and mental effort. But endurance can only be truly understood and trained when you go beyond all your limits. During one of my expeditions, I crossed the Himalayas by bicycle along some of the highest tracks in the world, with hardly any oxygen to breathe. At an altitude of nearly 6,000 meters, the air was so thin, I felt constantly like gasping for air. There were moments I nearly passed out. Trying to hold on to my bike with a total weight of 60 kilograms felt like that strong giant hand was pulling me back down the mountain. All I wanted was to give up. Did you ever reach a point of exhaustion in your life where you just wanted to give up? I'm sure your answer will be yes, even if you weren't climbing a mountain. Ever had that exam in front of you, or that huge task that seemed as insurmountable as Mount Everest? I'm not saying you have to go through the extremes I have been through, But think of how you can test your limits and how you can grow beyond them. I hit my limits in those mountains almost every day. The shortage of oxygen, the risk of falling down a gorge, or the extreme loneliness. How can you, as a leader, take one step out of your comfort zone today, even if it feels scary, knowing this is the space where the growth lies? What are some of the actions you can take? Honestly, speak openly about your passions, your dreams, and make that first step. Go for that career and that life that your heart tells you to pursue. Action is the key ingredient to success. And ultimately, in leading yourself, you will lead others so much better. Today, we talked about 3 elements of being an effective and serving leader in uncertain times. These 3 elements are: be brave, be kind, be bold, today and always, for yourself and others. Being brave, kind, and bold are not always easy in the workplace. However, it will set you apart, and let's not forget, it will make you a better human being. Live by these ingredients daily and let your light shine inside and out. Brené Brown said, "The future of work belongs to brave and bold leaders." So, let me ask you a final question. In a rapidly changing environment, filled with uncertainty, are you ready to be that future leader?